Today I wanted to talk about another frequently asked question, which is what to use after you have skin picked. So post skin picking face or body and you're feeling really inflamed, very red, quite raw, quite painful, and you're wanting to know what kind of products to use. First of all, I want to start with when you have just skin picked and you are onto what I call as step 2, step 1 being skin picking and step 2 feeling really low and crappy and hating on yourself and feeling, like, oh my god, why have I done this to myself, and in a really dark, low place. What I would instantly do is try and raise your testosterone, because you're going to be really high in estrogen, you're going to be feeling a lot and in a really low place. What you need to do is get up and get moving. So that's why I always recommend even just 5 minutes of a HIIT workout, which is high intensity interval training. You can get like free apps that do that. Even in your room, you don't even have to go out to work out. What you want to do though is to raise that testosterone so that you're feeling a bit more level-headed, clear-minded, a little bit more rational and not so caught up in your feelings. So that's the first thing I would do as soon as you've skin picked, because when you do that, you are cutting dead that step 2, which is so crucial, because it is that time in the 5-step process where you feel your worst and you are building momentum in a negative way. So I always say to try and minimize the step 2 if possible, and working out even 5 minutes will help so much. So that would ultimately be number 1 before you start anything else. Before you start the skincare, you need to realign how you're feeling. The next great thing about working out is obviously it is promoting you to sweat, so sweat glands are producing more sweat, and it's kind of unclogging your pores, kind of getting all the toxins up and out, which is what you want, and it will then take you on to the start of your skin care routine, which should be using a gentle antiseptic, soothing, moisturizing cleanser. Nothing too dry. If you use a foam cleanser, be sure to have a look at the ingredients and make sure that they're not high in drying alcohols or sulfates, anything that's going to add further irritation. The thing is, when we go for things that promote that squeaky clean feel, and we feel really clean, and we can you do that and it's that is not what you want, because in fact your skin is going to create further sebum to balance out that dryness. Your body's thinking, right, okay, it's feeling very dry, that's not good, I will promote more sebum production in that area, and that is why you overly become oily when you use these drying ingredients. So have a look at your skincare, your cleanser that you use. Double check that it's got really soothing, moisturizing ingredients, especially if it's a foam cleanser, and then just lightly cleanse your face or body, wherever it is that you've been picking, just to remove any bacteria that may have spread as you move along, especially if you're kind of working in a cluster, making sure that bacteria doesn't absorb in any other area to create further spots. After you've cleansed, it's so important, if you're wanting to exfoliate, to avoid harsh physical exfoliators. I swear, every time I hear someone use a St. Ives body exfoliator on their face, a puppy somewhere dies. I'm just oh my god, no, don't do it! I personally feel sorry for the skin. Can you imagine it just being it's kind of like using sandpaper. You wouldn't want to wash your face with sandpaper, but that is exactly what is happening when you use these really harsh, thick physical exfoliators. So I would just completely avoid them. If you have some, I would just totally never use them again, and look for a mild, quite well balanced, not too aggressive chemical exfoliator. I use one called from Thank You Pharma, which is a skin peeling cream. It's really heavily moisturizing though, all of the ingredients included is to promote moisturizing as well. So when you're using it and you can see the dead skin cells being removed, you don't have that squeaky feel. You feel nice, your face feels soothed, but you don't have that kind of dry face, when you do that and it's all you don't have that. So I know that it's a good product. So yeah, I would look for something like that and just avoid physical exfoliators if you can. Next, you want to go for a really soothing toner. I really like rose water because of its anti-inflammatory properties. It also controls excess oil, and helps maintain the skin's pH balance, which is really important, especially when it's feeling very inflamed and red. You want to try and bring that down. I absolutely love it. My skin absolutely loves it, so I always go straight to that. You can find like some really nice sheet masks that contain it. One thing I also do is, if I want to kind of do a DIY, I'll get some like kitchen paper, and then I will like put it in a bowl of rose water, and I'll just kind of sunk it in. What I used to do quite often, and my skin loved it, was I would then use, you know, a square sheet of it. I would then pull bits of it away and kind of place it on my face. I felt like a mummy. I felt like I was, you know, like in that last step of mummification, but it felt nice. It was nice. You could pat it in like a sheet mask did, and then when you take it off, your skin would look like really plump and the redness would instantly go down. So I would definitely recommend rose water. Tea tree oil is really good because of its anti-inflammatory, antifungal, antiseptic properties. It's an all-rounder, to be honest. It's actually one that really works, especially if you use it undiluted and you go for those little bottles. Just a little dab, get a cotton bud and put it directly to the area. I definitely wouldn't get like a load of it and slap it all on, because you'll feel it. Oh my gosh, you'll feel it, that stinging sensation. But if you just dab it onto the areas, just so that it doesn't cause any further irritation on the skin, just so that you can help make sure that no bacteria get shifted along and no further breakouts occur. But I would definitely start using tea tree oil. It is great. Another essential oil to use, which I love mixing with my natural oils, would be lavender oil, because it's so soothing. So I don't usually like pat that on my face. I definitely like mix it with what I then put on. So if you haven't tried lavender oil, I definitely would give that a shout, because it's great for bringing down redness. A topical retinoid can be really good for drying out redness and bringing inflammation down. If it's something that, you know, you've got really severe acne on the skin and you're wanting to use something topical to bring it down, I would give that a go for sure. However, it is something that you want to work up in terms of your skin tolerance, because if you just slap it on like toothpaste, like then oh my god, you are gonna feel it like whoa, like your skin will start peeling off. Not like completely peel off, but like a lot of irritation, redness, yeah, light peeling. It's something that you definitely want to use sparingly, a very small amount, just building up the skin tolerance and putting it just on the areas. I wouldn't put it on anywhere else, just on the areas that you want it to bring down. If, for example, it is like a large pimple spot that you're wanting to kind of bring back down and reduce that inflammation. Also be mindful about the natural oils you put on your skin. The thing is, before I looked into the comedogenic scale, I had really no idea that some oils, even when they're natural, can clog pores. They can stop the skin from breathing. I just naturally thought that natural oils would help. And so when I was like slavering on coconut oil or rosehip oil, I thought this is going to be great for my skin, it's going to be great for my spots. No, it actually made it worse, because they would clog the skin, meaning that the skin couldn't breathe, meaning that like more acne was being created because the bacteria was just kind of sitting there and being able to fully absorb. So I would look into the comedogenic scale and see what is not going to help your skin, and figure out for yourself. You may have personally know natural oils that work really well for your skin. Like for me, I really like sweet almond oil. I know that really works for my skin. My skin loves it, and I put a couple drops of lavender oil in there just to help bring down any redness after picking. So I would definitely look into something like that that would work for you. Everyone's different. I also do the same thing, but I add some avocado oil and put that on my scalp, because my scalp and my hair love avocado oil. So it's one of those things that you have to kind of educate yourself in understanding what to avoid, especially with like products. For me, for example, I know for a fact like my skin hates coconut oil and it hates shea butter, all of those thick plant oils that I thought would be really good, and it's kind of annoying, especially when you want to use like hair treatments to kind of help damaged hair and replenish all of the lost moisture, but you find that your skin's like, oh no you don't. So I'm going to wrap this up real quick, because my neighbour is thinking it is a perfect time to use his lawnmower. Oh, can't he tell I'm trying to record something? But yeah, try these methods out. If you've got a nice soothing moisturizer, then put that onto your skin after just to seal in all that goodness, and let me know how it goes. Also, if you are, say for example, you've picked before you go to work or school or whatever, and you're wearing makeup, be mindful about the drying makeup that you're putting onto your face, such as like heavy powders, just in case you're not allowing your skin to breathe, and thus you're creating further irritation, further acne. So yeah, let me know if these tips work, and let me know if you have any tips yourself. I can't believe he's using his lawnmower. This is so annoying.